Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today, the series that made Parmigiani roar. Once upon a time, Parmigiani Fleurier was a highly regarded outfit, noted for its engineering, immense capability in design, finishing, and mechanics, but often regarded more as a supplier of parts to top-end brands than a builder of complete watches in its own right. Well, that changed in 2020 with the arrival of the Chronograph sports watch series. And here we have a recent evolution of that seminal model. This is the Parmigiani Fleurier Tonda GT Chronograph annual calendar in stainless steel. This version with quantum gray sub-registers was launched in 2022, and the example I hold in my hand was retailed in 2023. So the sports watch shape, 42 millimeters in diameter, 14 millimeters thick, lug-to-lug 48.5 millimeters. Now these come on bracelets and also on straps. I find for fit, feel, and balance, the strap is preferable. It makes it a bit sportier, and you can see the flexibility of the strap is hard to beat. Taking a look in profile, the lugs are broad, but not so broad that I couldn't recommend this watch for a wrist slightly smaller than mine. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference. I can recommend this for a 15 centimeter circumference wrist. Although it's not thick, it's also not thin. It's an in-betweener where the case shape really makes the difference. And you can see there is a stepped and sloped bezel in crystal that allows sleeves to more or less ride up and over. The tightest dress cuffs may not clear, but most shirt sleeves and all jacket cuffs will. The strap's a lovely piece, and it is a nice match to the quantum gray. It's not black, it's sort of an anthracite. Several different patterns here. A very matte finish. We have these grooves that are driven down towards the apertures for the buckle. We have this clou de Paris that matches the dial, which is genuine guilloche. And then we have a buckle that features the Parmigiani Fleurier logo, and you can see that the form of the buckle matches the shape of the lug and matches the shape of the pusher. We love design parallelism here. Taking a quick look, twin trigger release, so you got to press these triggers to open this up. It can't fly open inadvertently. It's not a friction fit system. Note the use in here of spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps. The idea is over time it will remain snappy and the closure tight. It won't become ropey with time. You can also see that the buckle is held to the strap using a screw and a bar, which is a very secure arrangement. Taking a look at the underside, you can see that if you want to use a strap on this watch, because of the way the strap flows into the lines of the lugs, you're going to have to get something custom cut or use a factory strap, but the factory has many options. One quality that we often find with high-end rubber straps is that the manufacturers sent them vanilla, and that's a time-honored process in Switzerland. They've been doing it for decades. This is not smell-o-vision, so you're going to have to take my word for it. It's vanilla scented. It also feels like it's more flexible than its bare thickness would suggest, and that's because of these relief strakes in the bottom. They remove material to vent the wrist better and also make it more pliant, and you can see it's a brand new strap, no crimping, no gouging. Rolling around to the case, a lot of these forms have been present in the Parmigiani catalog for decades, even back to the 90s, but the way they're all integrated here into a round case with the blended strap or bracelet does feel very modern. There's an integration going on here. The lugs are handsome, and they're meaningfully broken out from the case band, so it doesn't feel sheer or massive. We have this lovely flattened coined bezel that I think is just a stroke of genius, linking the watch to the Toric series, both contemporary and historic. We have both polish and satin, and then the crown features a sharp knurling that makes it easier to grip because it is a screw down, and it is a 100-meter water-resistant watch. Taking a look at the dial, we have that guilloche silver primary dial with sub-registers that are a lovely quantum gray lacquer. Notice that the seconds hand is actually two different lengths, and it traces two different arcs. So that's how that works right there, each arc 30 seconds. We've also got a double-digit date and a month, and that's how the watch expresses its annual calendar. So it expresses a double-digit date and a month. There's a quick set for the date. As you advance the date, it drives the month. It only requires one correction a year during the jump from February to March, or once annually. We have these Delta-style hands, a longtime staple on Parmigiani watches. Here they're skeletonized. There will be some questions about how luminescent this watch is, and that is a valid question. We're going to show you now. Black luminova in general does not have a lot of punch. But if I had to ask and answer, lumed, the answer is yes. Lumed well? No. But it is a sharp look black on silver. Now you can see there are different patterns. There's the guilloche, there's a concentric pattern, the outer track is stepped up. Take a look at the individual indices. They're faceted and they are inclined. There's also a combination of polish and satin. So God is in the details here. The watch has a quick set for the date. It has hacking seconds. It has a vertical clutch in its chronograph module. So there's no jump or stagger when you engage the chronograph. Vertical clutches have no inherent place. That's an advantage. Like I said, 100 meters water resistant. You see that the case back is actually concave, which is an interesting styling choice. The movement has a 22 karat rotor and it pivots on ceramic ball bearings. I love to see 22 karat rotors because rotors range from tungsten gold plated, 18 karat, 21 karat. The densest gold for use on a rotor for maximum winding efficiency is 22. Parmigiani doing it the right way. And you'll see we have a combination of beveling, media blast, and satination on this rotor. So it is, along with the polish of the logo, quadruple finished. This solarization at the center on the bearing, it is an automatic winder with a 48-hour reserve, a 4 hertz beat rate. It's a twin barrel movement, so it has a nice flat torque curve. For most of its operation, it will allow very consistent force to the escapement and thus isochronous operation. It is adjusted precisely using variable inertia screws on the balance rim. It is free sprung, which allows for that very precise adjustment in 5 positions, which is the high horology standard, but it also makes it more shock resistant as concussion can't move the index. Taking a look, we do have bevels that are polished. Now this is likely all mechanically executed with hand finishing for the final step, but it's convincing and it's to a standard that I would compare favorably to the likes of Gerard Perregaux, which I hold in very high regard. You can also see there's this unusual Côte de Soleil sunburst style guilloche. Well, it's not guilloche, it's Côte de Genève. It's done with an abrasive wheel, but it radiates out from an imaginary center point to top the balance. So instead of having parallel stripes, we have this sort of expanding Soleil style. 56 jewels, that's largely because it's a modular complication. So when you add the jewels of the base with the jewels of the module, this caliber PF906-1020001-400181 winds up with 56 jewels and over 440 parts. The twin barrels don't give it a huge power reserve, but a very flat torque curve, which is excellent for consistent timekeeping. This is a watch that is full of fun features and has a lot of value to offer from a brand that is upwardly mobile. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.